Hey guys, it's Matt with CJ Off-Road here. Now today we are down at Susquehanna Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and we've got my brand new 2020 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon up on the lift. Now you might be asking why it's up on the lift. Well, today we are going to be doing the TSB, which recalls the steering gearbox. Now what that means is that we are going to be replacing our steering gearbox with the brand new steel steering box, and that's going to replace the aluminum one that's been causing me some issues going down the highway and honestly just cruising around. And we already added a Fox ATS steering stabilizer on there, and that did help band-aid it, but I can still notice it. So it was time to call Susquehanna, call my friends down here, and Butch is going to be helping us work on this today and really get this done so we can improve the steering performance and really make the Jeep ride and perform like it should. Now I'm going to show you the parts that are needed for this recall. Honestly, all you have to do is give your local dealership a call, explain what's going on with your JL or your Gladiator. If you're under warranty, it should be perfectly fine. It'll be a warranty issue. If you're out of your warranty time, maybe if you have a 2018 that's a little bit older, you might have to pay for some of the parts, but overall, we're going to give you guys a complete rundown of this after it's done, show you how it feels. Well, let's check out those parts right now. Well guys, you can see here we have everything laid out that's included with this TSB and the recall. We've got the brand new gearbox, all 4 bolts, our pinch bolt here for our steering linkage, as well as some electronic power steering fluid. Now, this is everything that's included with this kit that you're going to need to have this recall done. You can see that this is a cast iron box. It's going to be a lot more beefy and will not move or flex at all the exact same way that that aluminum was with the aluminum bolts. So here we've got steel on steel. This is going to be a much tighter connection and honestly should really improve our steering feel on the Gladiator or if you have a JL. Right here's everything you need. Like I said, call your local dealership. Honestly, Susquehanna here is great. They had this in within a week for me, and honestly on the box it even has my name on it that this was specifically ordered in for my Jeep. So pretty cool to see. Now with that being said, let's get it thrown on the Jeep. First thing we have to do is remove the factory aluminum steering box. You can tell this by the coloration. You can see it's a light gray and a dark gray. That's going to be the aluminum box. We're going to get that out first. As you can see out on the table here, we do have the comparison of the steel box versus that old aluminum box. First thing you'll notice is the color. The next thing I noticed was picking them up and the weight of them. Steel box is a lot heavier and feels a lot more beefy. Plus the brand new bolts are all the exact same length and are all steel. Now with the aluminum one, you can see that they are a different length bolt. And obviously they're made of aluminum too. So aluminum on aluminum, you're gonna get some stretching, and that's why we're getting some deflection and some moving in that steering wheel. All right guys, well, Butch is already installing the brand new box in here. Honestly, I would say it only took Butch about 20 to 30 minutes to do it. So pretty quick, especially if you know what you're doing. And honestly, seemed like pretty painless to get it out. Now, obviously we did see it on the table there too, the aluminum versus the steel. And there were some big comparisons that we can note on there. I mean, when you go from the aluminum to the steel, you can obviously tell that the materials are different for the actual box construction. But then on that aluminum one, you can actually see that the nuts are actually inserted onto the back of the box. So you've got a standard aluminum bolt and then a nut on the back, which probably is why we're getting some of that deflection and movement and wandering. The steel one felt a lot more sturdy. Obviously, you can't really feel it too much with your hands feeling what it's like, but the longer the bolt and with that thin of a diameter on that bolt, you will get some more deflection and it can prematurely wear, especially when you throw larger wheels and tires. So I think this is going to be a pretty good update. Last step of this, we'll throw it on the alignment rack, hopefully get some good numbers out of it. I don't think we'll have to adjust too much, but we'll get that completely dialed in and then we'll be ready to roll. All right guys, so it's about a week after we actually did the TSB and got the steering gearbox replaced. And I gotta tell you, I am really impressed at how much it changed the steering feel of this Jeep. I mean, when I first got the Jeep and then especially after I lifted it, it would wander all over the highway. I was constantly having to correct and honestly it got tiring on long road trips just to sit there and keep correcting it back and forth because it was just wandering. I also was getting a pretty good pull to the right. Now, I did have to adjust the control arms a little bit since I do have all 8 adjustable control arms, but that's a little bit of an added thing to it. this seemed to really stiffen up the steering. I mean, honestly, it's like driving a new vehicle. And I'm not really sugarcoating this because I have had the issues that a lot of people are talking about on the forums. I've had the wandering steering, the pulling to the right. And I gotta tell you guys, if you are experiencing those, don't wait, call into your dealership and get this done. And after you see this video, you'll see just how easy it is. And honestly, you can even show the techs if you go in, if they're maybe a little cautious or haven't done this before, and just show them like, hey, this is what it looked like. Honestly, it's not that hard. I probably could have done it myself. Not taking any credit away from Butch there, but it was a really easy install. I mean, a really easy swap out for that aluminum to the steel gearbox. And I gotta say, I am very impressed. Now we're just on some back roads here. I've had a chance to drive it for about a week. I put about 150 miles on it, and it's night and day. It honestly, I've talked to a few people that have had this done, and they said, Matt, you gotta go do it. It's gonna make your Jeep drive like a Cadillac. That's from a good friend of mine, said it like that. And he has over 100,000 miles on his JL. He actually paid for the service to be done, but he said it was night and day, and he drives all the time, and he absolutely loved it. Now, there was one thing I was reading on the forums where you almost get a notchy feel out of the steering wheel. Like basically there's like notches or indentations when you go around. I'm not experiencing any of that. So that's not to say it's not true, but I didn't experience any of that. It's nothing but good, and it's a week later. We've got the power steering fluid properly flushed through there. Everything is good to go. And if you're on the fence about this, this is the end of the video here. Go ahead and call your dealership if you are experiencing issues and get this done. You're not gonna regret it. And if you want to add on the Fox steering stabilizer like I did, just to give it some extra oomph and some extra power, you can go ahead and do that as well. But this steering box is definitely a great upgrade, and it's one that I highly recommend.